It's not gonna be all fun and games. It also takes a lot of resilience, a lot of determination to make this work out for you if you want to take cosplay as a job.
Be realistic with yourself. If you have a passion for it, go for it. If you feel like you're going to be burnt out, take little breaks, like what she said.
This podcast was brought to you by Gank, the content membership platform that helps creators accept donations, manage memberships, and sell merchandise for free. Enjoy!
Hello there, we're back for part 2 with the two cosplay besties from Malaysia. Meet Elle and Rina. Hello. So yeah, this time we're gonna learn more about their background, their girl group, and their advice for aspiring cosplayers out there, and maybe get to know what the community is like in Malaysia, because it might be different from country to country, Let's start with you guys introducing yourselves again and what you do, and tell us more about Nymphie, your girl group after.
My name is Rina. I'm a cosplayer, MC, host, and a content creator from Malaysia. Hello.
My name is Ellemonade, currently wrestling with a cat. I am a full-time content creator, cosplayer, shoutcaster for Valorant and MISG, and as well as a host, and I guess now you can throw me as producer of Nymphie. Yeah.
All right.
Now tell us more about Nymphie, right? Rina, you can start.
Wow. Nymphie is an ACG group, anime cosplay and games performing group, where we strive to give the best performance on any ACG scene so that our audience gets a performance of their lifetime.
All right. So I've checked out your group a couple of times, but can you share with us how many members you are and who are the other members of your girl group?
Yeah,
so in the girl group,
in Nymphie, there are 5 members in the group. There is me, Ellemonade, there is Rina, there is Jay, there is Ayu, and Cherin. So I am in charge of kind of everything when it comes to vocal, dance, rap, and also more towards the producer side. So getting things along, getting deals, thinking about these big projects that we can think about, for maybe music videos, producing our music and stuff like that. So that's what I'm mostly in charge of. Rina is in charge of vocals mainly, and also because she has a lot of experience performing with me, so she does take on that big sister role in the group, and also the crackhead who always needs water.
Stay hydrated.
According to our teammates, who does not bring her water but takes other people's water. We need that in the group. Jay is in charge of main vocals. She is a vocal extraordinaire. We actually found her from a competition in the ACG scene. She placed second. So we were enticed by her, and then we got her along. Then we have Ayu, who is our overall big sister because she is the oldest. So she does tend to guide us and be a little bit calm. And she actually acts a little bit shy, so we actually help each other vice versa, and she does a lot more of the dancing, and recently I think her vocals has also been very stable. And last but not least, we have our star Maknae, if you guys follow K-pop, which is our youngest. She is still in school, and she is the main dancer of our group. Although she's the youngest, she actually teaches us a lot, so she takes on that role when it comes to dancing.
All right, that's so cool. I wish I get to meet all of them, but it's nice to get to know what roles they do exactly for the girl group. And I hope you guys in the audience look forward to their future performances and check out their videos, of course. But yeah, let's talk a little bit more about you girls. So how did you guys start cosplaying professionally? Because in our first episode, we talked about who inspired you? Who was your idol in cosplay? But what made you think that, I can actually do this professionally? And what is your advice for those who are aspiring to do this as a full-time job as well?
I initially didn't start cosplaying professionally. I actually did it as a hobby. For about 6 years into cosplay, I didn't actually... It was just really to discover what cosplaying was. It was just to play dress up, to join in with the community, both in the J-pop and Western pop culture. K-pop. But yeah, it was just for me to be able to make friends and to see what the community is like. After a while, I did get approached to do cosplaying jobs. So my first job was with Final Fantasy 15 for Sony Entertainment. Yeah, when they released Final Fantasy 15, that was the first job I ever did with them. and I didn't know you can actually do a cosplay job. So I took a chance with them, and I was just standing there. They were like, "Oh, you have these hours," and I was like, "Okay, I'll keep to these hours." At that time, there was no payment, so I just kept doing all these small, odd cosplaying jobs for game companies, and eventually, I did stumble upon my agency, which is Ellemonade, that introduced me in the agency. And from that point onward, they decided to take me and Elle in as cosplayer talents and nurture us as talents as well. And from that point, I have been a professional cosplayer since.
Wow, that's so cool. And you were Luna Freya, let me guess.
Yes, I was.
Is that why it's so special?
Yeah, it is. It was actually the first cosplay job I ever had in my I would say my entire life. So that character and the game actually holds a very special place in my heart. So I have to tremendously thank the person who really got me into this and also gave me the opportunity to do so.
Shout out to them. All right. So what about Elle? What about your story?
I've been a fan of anime from a young age, I think around like 10, 11, and I saw advertisements of cosplay conventions in Malaysia at that time, and I always wanted to go, I always wanted to try it out, but I knew my parents wouldn't let me, so I actually pushed the idea to the back burner for at least until I was 18, 19, when I had a bit more freedom, and then I fell in love with a game called League of Legends. And I was like thinking, okay, you know what? I always wanted to cosplay at least one time in my life, because I thought that would be cool. No, one time in my life. So I was like, okay, let me just try, because I like this game right now. I'm going to try this like closet cosplay of this character. So I did, and I liked it. And then I also met Rina within this process. So I started having friends within the community, and they kind of like got me to stick around by pulling me to do more characters. And it just continued on from there, because I was still in school. I had nothing much to do, and there was something that I thought that I could do on the side just to have a bit more fun, entertainment, something to look forward to. I continued doing it and up until I graduated. And when I graduated, I got my first job and everything. And I watched people go to conventions like during the pandemic, like when it was starting to get a little bit looser. I thought to myself that like, wow, I really wish I could go, but I'm stuck here doing work. So I kind of pulled the trigger to, you know what? I've gotten like 1 or 2 jobs before. If I put my all into it, like let's just see how far it goes. If it doesn't work out, I can always come back and find another job and stuff like that. Well, I never went back. So here I am being a kind of like full-time cosplayer. But in a sense, I don't just cosplay. I think I also mentioned that I do different stuff like hosting, casting, which are different areas of my interest, my main interest, which is like games, anime, comics and stuff like that. So I really ventured out into this, and I guess it just stuck.
That's so cool. Yeah. I think a lot of us cosplayers started cosplaying because of liking a certain fandom. It always starts from there, and it's always a hobby. Just comes to show that when it comes to cosplayers, even the professionals or veterans, it's because it's a passion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what really keeps you sticking to this industry, to this route, even though it gets tough. Like, you have the booth every weekend. It's not an easy process. It's because we meet our friends there, we meet our supporters, people who maybe we wouldn't have seen in a long time. Maybe they're just only free now, and it's all these interactions and also like just doing it for the game that makes it so fun for us.
Do you have any advice for those cosplay beginners who want to make this hobby into a job?
Say number 1, really like what you're doing, because like I mentioned just now, it's not gonna be all fun and games. Like you're gonna be facing deadlines, your costume's gonna be stuck in customs, you're gonna have to find commissioners to make your costume in 2 weeks just because you need to survive. So it also takes a lot of resilience, a lot of determination to make this work out for you if you want to take cosplay as a job. So really just know what you're getting yourself into. Do it because you're passionate about it. And number 2, I would say, is broaden your horizons, your networks. So, meet different people. That's how we started getting jobs, because we were not just cosplayers, we were gamers as well. So we got to meet like developers, people who are publishers that were trying to promote their game. And that's how we eventually started having one that got recommended to another. And continuously, we were in different places just because we knew a few different people compared to what the community of cosplay would provide to just the regular hobbyist cosplayers. I guess I should put a third one, right? Because you should always have 3 tips tips.
Rule of thirds.
Yeah, rule of thirds. I guess the last one is that if you don't enjoy pursuing it super hard, I know I'm not trying to tell you to give up, but know where your happiness lies. Because I've seen some people who really want to make this a thing, but perhaps they're hitting a wall, or they're just taking a part of themselves too much out so they can try to make this work. And it may be a hurdle that you can go across, but just take little breaks and see whether, okay, yeah, I really want to do this, okay, let's try again. But if it really hurts you, like, try not to stretch yourself too thin. Don't stretch yourself too thin for something that may not work as well for you, because in the end of the day, it's really hard work. I don't know why mine seems so negative, but
No, I like it, but I'll react after Rina. You wanna go first?
Okay, I guess in a sense, how she said it is more towards the realistic point of view. Like, be realistic with yourself. If you have a passion for it, go for it. If you feel like you're going to be burnt out, take little breaks, like what she said. My advice is almost similar to Ellemonade on the first two counts. So my advice to like a lot of cosplayers, if you want to actually pursue this passion as a job, then it's to build your network in the community, especially in the ACG scene, or no matter what scene you're in and you're a cosplayer. It's always important to build your network, to build a community, and to generally know who to talk to. Because like what Elle said, don't just put yourself in the hobbyist scene. Don't just put yourself in just the event scene. Put yourself out there in the sense of you have other skills you can display. If you're a really good speaker, you can actually aim for like MC and hosting, or even shoutcasting. And just put yourself out there. Get your name to be out there in the public eye, or even if it's not in the public eye, the online eye, so that people can help you get your name out, and eventually you will meet the right people who will offer you those opportunities. And last but not least, if you are unsure about how stable your community is, or you're not sure whether or not this is not going to be very safe for you, and you want a safety net, join an agency, which is what I recommend to a lot of young uprising cosplayers who want that security for themselves. Yeah, just join a talent agency.
to be honest, there's a lot of different advice we could give. Like, number one,
There's
just be
so
genuine.
many, isn't there?
Yeah, just be genuine. That's how me and Rina found each other, and like we thought like we were really young back then. We didn't know what we're doing, and then we just ended up somehow here. But it's having that mutual person running alongside you that actually kept us quite very motivated to continuously go. And don't limit yourself within what you already know. Like, just go try that competition. Try you want to try on going on stage even though you don't feel like it's right. Like, just try it.
One of the main things that Gank does or tries to do to help small creators or small artists and cosplayers is to actually start growing their portfolio, start growing like a shop or a listing page, so that even if they don't know the right people to talk to yet, technically you're already building a formal portfolio. So eventually when you do meet that person, they instantly think, oh, this kid knows what they're doing. What made you guys join Gank? And if you have any thoughts or opinions about the platform.
Well, generally, when Gank first came to Malaysia, I was actually very interested in like, oh, it's another platform. What is it like? How is the platform user friendly? And what does the platform offer? In terms of like your settings and your donations, like what is it? And when managed to go to Philippines and to see the same Gank, but it was so different. It was so different from like Malaysia Gank. And it was when I spoke to a lot of Gank users, especially Cholo, talking more about it, it gave me the impression of like Gank is a growing platform that is looking to help their content creators to grow their fan base, and much more of at a creative level compared to all the other services that I've already seen and used that it's in the market. So now I am more appealed towards Gank format. I really like how Gank is helping their creators on their platform. And I'm very much interested to growing with Gang.
When I first came across Gank last year when they were emerging, and at that time I saw that it was a platform that allowed you to sell your merchandise, and the USPs were that it was really localized, it was very community based. I never got the time to set one up since, but I saw that they had event in Malaysia, so they were actually really trying to reach out to the ACG community, and that to me showed that they were very community centric. And when I finally got to get a little bit associated and affiliated with them, I saw that the developers of Gang, like the people behind the team behind it, were really into trying to raise you up even if you were a small cosplayer, try to introduce you to like-minded people, which is very important when it comes to pursuing something like this, pursuing a full-time cosplay job, and then also giving you advice, tips, and just everything that it takes to help cosplayers make it into a solid job. So I really like that about Gang, apart from just the platform itself. And when you have something like Gang, it really shows you how people produce their own merchandise, how they market themselves, which gives you better ideas as well, instead of just trying to like mindlessly scroll around social media platforms because you may not get, your right inspiration that you need for yourself.
Do you have any donation goals or plans to release on the platform yet?
Yeah, I've mentioned this before to, I think one of the Gank employees that approached me when I just came back from Philippines Conquest. So a lot of my plans, I actually don't really have like a set donation goal, even though it's good to have one, honestly. I do hope to hit a 500 donation goal, maybe within 6 months or less than that. Must be be realistic with your goals, And I actually do plan to release more like photo set merchandises that are more not too PG friendly, but still PG friendly enough to.
That is appropriate for her age.
Yes, appropriate for her age. Yeah.
Her age. Yeah. So it's all good, guys.
It's okay. She's in the right age. Kids go to bed.
Okay, yeah.
Kids go to bed. Those who are not,
yeah,
go to her website.
And like a lot more like video content, merch content that I don't think I would be, publishing here locally. So more towards that.
So I'll be very honest. I'm actually not yet on Gank, although I am preparing to be on it. I think that gives you a little bit more perspective about a newer recruit into Gank. For the stuff that I am looking to do. So I have a lot of photo sets that I usually take 1 and 2 to print into merchandise, and then the rest of it is kind of like left into getting just to get dust at the side. So I really want to put those out and just continuously have maybe some passive income from Gang, just so I can continue to fuel my hobby. And in terms of like large goals, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I always feel that it's nice. Because personally for me, I always feel that it's nice that I can get donations, but I don't want it to just be like they're just handing me money. I don't feel right doing that personally. I feel like there's always has to be something given back to the people. So that's why I default more into merchandise. So like digital merchandise, like I'm totally on board. Donations wise, maybe it's going to be half of the costume, maybe like 70% of the costume. I never want them to pay it fully because I feel like it's also my hobby, my passion, that I want to have a say in it. And lastly is that, you mentioned like music videos and stuff like that. So I guess that's also a goal. I want to work hard enough that Gank can say, hey, I think they're pretty well equipped to make further content for maybe Gank Malaysia. Let's give them a big project. I want to do all those. I want to reach for the stars. So let's hope I can do that.
All right, maybe you guys can apply apply for grants now. But yeah, thanks for sharing. I hope you guys in the audience support them on Gank and follow them there. We were talking a lot about the differences between Gank Malaysia and Gank Philippines, etc. What about the cosplay community? Is it any different in Malaysia? And since you guys have been to like conventions in the Philippines, like Conquest, etc., and other conventions in other countries as well, right? How is it different?
I can talk a little bit about conventions in Taiwan. You can talk about the conventions Philippines. I think
Okay.
it will be it's a great way to see like the huge difference between like our Southeast Asian countries. Conventions in Taiwan, I've attended one time an event before COVID pandemic. It's actually a very interesting sight to see because there's a huge difference between ACG scene here in Malaysia. As you know, like because we are from a Muslim country, our scene here is very well made for PG-13. It's meant to be PG-13, family friendly. I would say it's family friendly. However, in the scene like in Taiwan, it is meant for all ages, and the scene there is more open towards having foreigners come for the events. They're very welcoming. They appeal to communicate with those cosplayers who are not from Taiwan, and they're very hospitable. So I got the chance to make friends with some local Taiwanese cosplayer, and they took me around their ACG scene. They told me what it is like, what's the difference. They are very passionate about their anime like cosplay scene there, because a lot of their cosplayers are very talented, because majority of the cosplayers costumes are made by themselves. Almost everyone there is a seamstress.
That's so interesting. I haven't been to a Taiwan convention yet.
Have you been to Malaysia?
No, not either.
Come. So first I'll explain a bit about the community in Malaysia, if that's okay. So when I went to the Philippines, I got kind of like the first-hand comparison of cosplay community in Malaysia and Philippines. And I realized that in Malaysia, that we were more anime based. So it was easy because Malaysia is already number one, like an economical business hub. So deliveries and the prices there were a little bit more friendly, entry friendly for a lot of the newer cosplayers that wants to join in. There's much more people, I feel, like who are actually like trying to cosplay. That if you go to conventions, you will see like, okay, the cosplay booths, which is people who want to sell their merchandise, and a lot of people think like that's the only cosplays they have in the convention. But in Malaysia, there's like mushrooms of like different groups that are cosplaying on their own, and they are really good, by the way. They're not like, you know, closet cosplay. They're actually really good on their own. So I would say that the talent in Malaysia is immense. If they want to take this seriously, like they could definitely try to make this a full-time thing. Other than that, it's very commercialized in Malaysia because there's an event every weekend. So again, it leads back to the easy entry. Like people can just join in wherever they want. You know, it doesn't mean you have to go to a different state to join in. You can just join in one that's like maybe 10 kilometers from your house. I think that's the great thing about the Malaysian cosplay scene. In Philippines, though, I do have to say, maybe it's just the people I meet that I am biased, but it seems like everybody knew everybody. So it kind of gave me a lot of that community feeling. And of course, I think games are a little bit more popular in Philippines as opposed to anime. So that's already one difference. I'm not sure. You have to confirm from me, Danny. Because that's what I see is that a lot of them play games on their phones, play games on their PC. So they have that understanding straight away. And for me, I like games a lot, and I cosplay a lot of games. So I thought that was really refreshing for myself to go and see in the Philippines.
Okay, that's so cool. Interesting. Taiwan versus Malaysia versus Philippines. Well, okay, to answer your question first, in the Philippines, I think it's because you went to Conquest, so that
Maybe.
was specifically a gaming convention, just like ESGS. But
We
there
don't have
are.
that at all.
Oh, really?
We don't have like a gaming convention.
I see.
So
That's
I
why.
would say that's why.
Cause ever since there always has been like anime conventions, cosplay mania. There's also toy conventions. So basically anime and toys or collectibles. But lately with gaming conventions becoming more popular, I think it's also because of the popularity in video game culture ever since the pandemic, especially. Like a lot of people started streaming, right? A lot of people started playing games and getting all these PCs built. And also, yeah.
Sorry if you don't mind me.
Go on.
Malaysia, it pivoted into VTubing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of local VTubers in Malaysia.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
they really love their VTubers.
That's so cool. I wish we could talk to more VTubers in the future. Have you ever experienced any of the following, like body shaming, harassment, or even bullying as a cosplayer? Because I hear a lot of stories, unfortunately, about this.
Wow. Okay, to give some context, I believe. I'm not saying for you, Elle, but this is what we believe. Like I believe in, and I feel like you also do too. Is that regarding any of these type of topics, which is shaming, harassment, bullying, we try not to dwell on it too long, and we leave it as it is. We're really just looking out for ourselves. So whatever others have to say, we just look away. There's no need to defend ourselves. There's no need to even respond back, because we believe that we are the bigger person here, and we're just gonna let you just do you. But if the question is, have we ever experienced any of these types of harassment? Yes, we have. For sure, we have before. I am not going to dwell too much into these topics because it was a not great time for me. Yeah, the only way I dealt with it was just ignoring people. I can speak one time about being bullied as a new cosplayer. When I first started out cosplaying as a hobby, I was very new, and as I slowly, continuously built my own group of friends and a community that I really hold dear to my heart, I start hearing from people in my group of friends saying that, oh, do you know there are these type of people talking bad about you, that they feel like you're not worth it to be in this community. They look down on you. They say they can do it way better than you. Initially, I was kind of sad and slightly disappointed, because I've always idealized the community as a place that is meant to be community based, which is everyone help each other, we're good to each other at least, but slowly, as I grew older, I realized there are a lot of individuals that just really is out there to look out for themselves, and if they see they're threatened by other people, they would just put you down. And that's honestly just super, super sad. And right now I am blessed to have Ellemonade at my side, because even though I still, not gonna lie, I still do have that naivety that I give to these type of people, that give them a chance. I believe giving people a chance. Elle will be at the side just thinking, that's not gonna happen. That they're gonna show their true colors soon enough, So I'm happy to have a protector at my side.
You make me sound so scary.
Before I comment, do you want to go first?
Sure. Of recent times, I'm blessed enough to not have to deal with any of these, but that's because I kind of had to learn from experience as well. So, like I mentioned, I started out watching anime a little bit, and then I jumped into playing a lot of games, a lot of mobile games, and I really especially know how toxic those places would be. So from there, I kind of already knew how it is to be flamed that you're a girl playing badly, and all these stigmas and stuff like that. So that was the first major encounter of bullying that I had. I even had people recognize my name in games and purposely ganged up together just to continuously take me down. It's very demotivating, but you just have to get through it, because there's no other way. It's not like talking back to them or calling them out is going to do any good. I even had a situation where Rina and I dealt with a certain fan who was particularly problematic, that would come back and continuously spam us, and to the point that we had to tell him to please stop spamming us. If not, we're going to have to remove you from our server or from our accounts. And eventually we did, and he started spreading rumors that we were bullying him. So it's very hard to deal with at times, because you want to be nice. Rina says she wants to give people the benefit of the doubt, and I actually believe I do that more than her. It's just that my face has the hugest RBF in the world, so a lot of people think that I'm scary, but actually it's kind of unfortunately a defense mechanism that I have to just not to say look scary, but be
intimidating,
a little bit intimidating, so that when people do come up and make friends with me, it's I feel I genuinely know that they wanted to talk to me. It's a bit messed up actually, if you think about it. But through those, at least I know who are my real friends, who are my real supporters, my real community, rather than having to deal with, excessive negativity just by, entertaining people that may have malicious intentions instead.
That's so relatable, you guys. See, exactly what she said. Share the tea because it's relatable.
It's related.
I personally relate already. Like, yeah, because it does happen. Because whether you like it or not, no matter how idealistic you view the community, no, the community is perfect. It's not. And sometimes you're just gonna really encounter some people who can have that crab mentality and try to bring you down if they see some sort of threat in you, or maybe I don't know what possible reasons, but it's just human nature, unfortunately. And also human nature, it's either you be careful, you be cautious with who you truly can trust and open up to, and who you rely on, rather than being friends with everyone, because I don't think if you're friends with everyone, you're a true friend to one. You know what I mean? It's like quantity versus quality. And that what you guys mentioned, that you have each other, you have a protective friend. I think that's important for everyone. Like, I don't know if I have if I have one, but then like
It will be yours.
no, I have friends. Don't worry. I mean, I meant rather like a specific bestie girlfriend who's always there ready to fight whoever tries to at me. You know what I mean? And that's something everyone needs. So yeah, you guys look for your own Elle or own Rina.
Yeah.
So I hope you learned a lot from their advice, whether it's about cosplay or negativity, because all of these things, regardless if you do cosplay or not, you may have learned a thing or two. And we hope this motivated or inspires you in whatever you enjoy doing, because you do you. They're right, you do you, and don't let negativity affect you, because regardless if it's cosplay, gaming, or like making YouTube videos, like anybody, people on the internet, especially with anonymous usernames and faces, they can say mean things, but it's either you just laugh at it, you reply sarcastically, or you get mad. Obviously the last part is not good for your health, so don't let it affect you that way. So thank you so much. Before we end this interview, I want to ask you guys, can you please give your fans a shout out and invite them to follow you on Gank?
Thank you guys for watching these episodes together with Danny, interviewing us, Ellemonade and Rina. And if you guys are interested to look at our content, eager to support us, please do come over to our gangs or to even our social media pages, where we have exclusive content for you guys and new stuff coming your way. Every single contribution that you make, whether it's monetary, whether it's a comment, whether it's you giving a like, it fuels us towards our dreams, towards our passions, and for us to keep going. So thank you everybody.
All right, thank you so much, and we'll see you again next time. Bye.
Still feeling overwhelmed with your creative journey? Join Gank for useful membership management tools and support to help you grow your fan base.